Hi guys, my name is Danielle and I'm the 7-figure nurse investor, and this is a channel where you get to come with me on my journey to 7 figures and beyond. So just to introduce myself, like I said, my name is Danielle and I'm a nurse. That's where the nurse comes in, the whole nurse investor thing. And I've been a nurse for 13 years, and currently I am on this road to investing and being financially free, being financially independent. Now, just a brief synopsis of my story. I became debt free in 2017 through the Dave Ramsey method. And after that, I worked with a young lady named Nasima. She's actually financially intentional on Instagram. Go holler her. Hey, Nasima. So she introduced me to the FIRE movement. And through Choose FI, I got hooked onto this FIRE movement. And FIRE stands for Financially Independent, Retire Early. So it's all about increasing your savings rates, increasing your income as much as possible so that you can achieve your number, whatever number that it's been determined that you've determined that you need to live on, and so that you can retire and not have to work again. So I went on this journey, and I'm currently on this journey, and I'm currently on this journey to investing, and I want you to come with me. I want you to join me so that we can all be 7-figure investors together. Okay, first thing that I thought when I thought about making my first video, I was like, well, what should I do? And then it came to me. It cannot happen without a budget. I've always been a budgeter, but I wasn't an intentional budgeter. So a budget tells you where your money's going to go. It's an assignment for your money. You know where your money's going before you even get it. And I'm an avid budgeter. I've always been an avid budgeter, but not necessarily intentionally. What was I budgeting for? Yes, I was always budgeting to save money. Okay, and then what? That's where you come into the whole investing game, because then when you realize that you're budgeting for investing, or you're budgeting for a car you want, or a house you want, a down payment for a house, or a vacation, you're budgeting for that, you're saving for that. So instead of budgeting for any of those things, I've now decided to budget to retire early and be financially free and independent. That's not to say none of those other things are going to go down, because I'm definitely going to go on vacation. I'm kind of mad. Hashtag COVID's going on now because I can't go anywhere. But I did get to go to the Philippines. Shout out to the Philippines. Amazing. You got to try it. You got to go if you get a chance one day. Anyway, so now we're talking about budgeting, right? Budgeting is super important, like I said before, because it tells you where your money to go. If you're getting your paycheck and you have no idea where it's going, you know you might have to pay rent, you know you might have to pay your light bill, but then apart from after the essentials, you have no plans for it. That's just asking for it to be wasted. That's just asking for you to blow it because you have no idea, and you're not going to have no idea where it went because you didn't have a place for it to go in the first place. So it's just like, no big deal. Yeah, I saved some, you know, I paid all my bills, and that's what's important, you know. But it's more than just that. Have to make an assignment for your money. Okay. So how to organize a budget. I'm pretty sure everyone should know how to organize a budget. If you don't, I'll just go over the basics. I'm going to start from basics and I'm going to build up, because I think it all comes from a foundation. And let's just build this foundation of the basics of a budget, because that's where it all starts from. So first you want to take all your bills, everything that you pay monthly on, including subscriptions. You got to add in the Spotify, the Netflix, the gym memberships, or no gym memberships now. Some people are in places where the gym is open. So anything that you pay for monthly, your rent, car note, all of that, you need to get all of that together and put them all in however you'd like to organize it. Some people like to write things down. Some people like to have things in Google Documents, but have it all written down and have it all organized so you know what needs to go out every month. Then you need to calculate all of those things that need to go out every month. The due dates, right? We're not going to worry about the balances right now. We're just going to worry about what is due, the due amounts. So we're going to tabulate all of that, and all of that's going to tell us what our monthly expenses are. And based on our expenses, then we can know, we can compare that to our monthly income, and we can know what we have to work with. And then you can move on to cutting things down, right? So that's how you pretty much do a budget. Get everything that you have due, list them in however order you'd like to list them, in whatever manner, whether it's written or if it's on some kind of Google document, a spreadsheet. I personally use a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet. Been doing it for years. I'm going to keep doing it until I find something better, but I'm comfortable with it. So you list everything down, and you list the due amounts, not the balances to the accounts, but the due amounts. And that's going to tell you your monthly expenses, and you're going to compare that with your monthly income. Now, you can do a monthly budget or a bi-weekly budget. I like to do a bi-weekly budget because it tells exactly what I don't want to pay a lot of bills out of one check and not a lot of bills out of another check. I like to kind of balance it out a little bit, so I have enough to, back in the day, it would be to hang out. Now it is to invest, because we're doing anything that's going to increase our assets and decrease our liabilities. That's what we're about right now. Okay, now that's just the structure of a basic budget, but we don't want basic budgets. We want budgets that's going to help us to be debt free, because when we're debt free, we have more money to devote to investing. We're not losing anything on opportunity costs. So let's talk about budgets to pay off debt so that you can move on to investing. Now, budgets to pay off your debt. Now you're going to talk about your balances. You're going to list your due dates, your due amounts, and your balances, right? Now there's two methods that you can use. There's a debt snowball and there's a debt avalanche. The debt snowball is what Dave Ramsey talks about all the time. You're listing all of them in order now, from smallest to largest. So what you're going to do is you're going to pay off the smallest first, pay the due amounts for all the rest of the bills, only the minimums, and devote everything to the smallest amount. After that's paid off, then you're going to move on to the next smallest. Then you're going to devote everything that you used to pay to the smallest amount plus the minimum payment to that bill, right? You're going to pay that off. You're going to pay that until that's paid off. Then you're going to move on to the next bill, and so until you're avalanching, right? And you're paying off sometimes $1,000 a month for a bill because you've avalanched into $1,000 a month. You then, on the other hand, you have the debt. No, that's the debt snowball. Excuse me, the debt snowball. Lord have mercy. Now, on the other hand, we have the debt avalanche. Now, with the debt avalanche, you're listing all your interest rates, because then that's telling you how much you're paying to the credit card company, paying to the finance company, whatever it is. But you're listing all the interest rates from smallest to largest, and the one with the smallest interest rate first, you're going to pay off first. And then when that's paid off, you're going to go on to the next smallest interest rate. And just like the debt snowball, where you take all the extras and devote it to the next bill, you're going to do the same with the next bill. But you're doing it not in order of balances, but you're doing it in order of your interest rates, right? Then you're going to go through and pay all of those off. Something's always important to remember: you always want to have an emergency fund. Dave Ramsey advocates for $1,000 emergency fund, and all during the #COVID times, we've heard all about how we can't have the average American doesn't have $1,000 to go through an emergency. Imagine $1,000. If you had $1,000 emergency, you'd either have to borrow from a friend or apply it to a credit card. So it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. So what we want to do is have an emergency fund. You know what your household dictates and what you need for your household. So if $1,000 is adequate enough for you, $1,000, then we're going to go right on to paying off those bills. However, if you feel like you need a month or 3 months, I wouldn't say having more than 3 months, because then you're just spending time that you could be paying off your bills, you're spending time building up this fund. And you really should, I would say 1 month should be sufficient, even for a family, even with a family including children, because I know that gets a little touchy. But 1 month, $1,000, whichever you are comfortable with, you get that saved up, then you're going to move on to paying off that debt. And after you pay it off that debt, you're going to notice that you have so much more money to invest, so much more money to apply to the compound interest. And that's what we want. We want the application of the compound interest on top of what you're investing, and the years that you have to invest in. 10, 20, 30, 40 years of investing can make you, build you millions of dollars. Not 7 figures, 8 figures easily. All right. Now, my name is Danielle. I'm the 7-figure nurse investor. If you have any questions or comments, leave your comments below in the comment section. I'm also a 7-figure nurse investor on Instagram. Follow me there. DM me if you have any questions and comment below. Bye.